Hello and welcome back to another one of my FPL videos. I am the FPL Train, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at some transfer plans ahead of Game Week 17. Now in the past week there's been an absolute crazy week because we've had so many injuries, quite a few suspensions as well. I don't know what was going on. It seemed that anybody had 4 yellow cards decided it was the week to get that 5th one, so they're all suspended now for Game Week 17. Absolute nightmare, and the injuries just keep coming. So currently we've got European football going on, and last night Man United had Luke Shaw and Harry Maguire both go off injured. So it's an absolute nightmare currently with injuries, and some key players as well to some of our FPL teams, myself included, have got quite a fair few now problems ahead of this game week. So it could be a minus hit possibly for the first time this season, but like I said, there's so many injuries and suspensions going on. I could easily do in this video 10 plus transfers, ins and outs ahead of this game week. But I'm just going to stick to 3 ahead of this game week. Don't want to obviously go into it too much because I could easily be talking for a whole hour. But anyways, before we go through all that, I'm going to look back on my previous transfer plans ahead of the game week 16. And let me tell you, it wasn't the best, but it wasn't the worst, to be fair. So, first up, I said, get rid of Tyreek Mitchell, somebody who I currently own. He's injured. Now, I didn't say do a straight-up swap for Trent because I doubt people had like nearly 4 million in the bank. But my recommendation was, if you want to bring in a defender, get in Trent Alexander-Arnold. Now, it was disappointing in the fact that, obviously, Liverpool didn't get the clean sheet. Funny enough, they were actually against Palace as well. But yeah, they didn't keep the clean sheet, but Trent did get 2 bonus points. So, that's 4 extra points compared to Mitchell, who was obviously injured. So, I think that's definitely a win for me, I'd say. The second transfer, as you can see, didn't work out really, did it? So obviously Mbumu's out injured, so he didn't get anything. Sterling, on the other hand, only got 1 point. So obviously it's one more, but it's a bit of a pathetic return if I'm being honest. Chelsea were pathetic as well. Let's be honest with that as well. They should have, well, we all expected them to beat Everton. That wasn't the case. Now I did say last week that if Everton didn't have that 10-point deduction, they'd be ahead of Chelsea in the table, and you know, they just proved to be the better team. It was quite embarrassing for Chelsea. Raheem Sterling, he didn't even start. Obviously, he is on 4 yellow cards himself, so not the best transfer recommendation, I have to say. But, you know, I did think he had an attacking threat, and I thought he could score in that game, but he didn't play much at all. Just got the 1 point. Didn't get a yellow card, though, so he is available for game week 17, so it's not the worst thing in the world, I guess, if you did bring him in. But, yeah, bitterly disappointing with just that 1 point there. Then the final pick, taking out Mbama, yeah, that's how you say it. I'm probably wrong, but there you go. And bringing in Alvarez. Now, this one, to be fair, is pretty perfect, if I'm being honest. I mean, I know Alvarez only got 5 points. He got that 1 assist. But, obviously, we've had issue. Well, with what's going on with Erling Haaland, it's probably been the perfect time to bring in Alvarez, because then you don't have to make that move to swap in for Alvarez. You can get in a different striker that I'm sure people are interested in. A couple, talking about a guy from either Villa or Bournemouth. But yeah, he got 1 assist in the game, so he got 5 points out of that, whereas obviously Mbama didn't start again for West Ham, which is expected, and only got the 1 point. So technically I got 3 out of 3 right there, but I'm not taking that Raheem Sterling one as a win, because I expected him to start, and the fact that he didn't, you know, that's why I'm going to take that as a loss, because 1 point is not really good enough. I expected him to get about 7 points, so yeah, that was disappointing. But yeah, I got a win for Trent and a win for Alvarez, I say. So yeah, I'll definitely take that. So then let's talk about the first transfer we've got in here, and it's taking out Kieran Trippier. Now, obviously Kieran Trippier is only suspended for 1 game week, so obviously this isn't my best recommendation in terms of taking defenders out. But the reason why I picked him is because he's by far the highest owned that's not going to be playing in game week 17. He's over 46% owned. But, you know, I could also recommend taking out Reece James. Obviously, he went off injured. Charlie Taylor, I know a lot of people own him. He's also suspended for this game week. So there's quite a few defenders out there I could have mentioned. But I went with, obviously, Kieran Trippier because he is highly owned. His fixtures aren't exactly the worst in the world. But Newcastle aren't looking too good right now. They're not looking as good as they were a few weeks ago. But their fixtures in game weeks 18 and 19 are pretty decent. Then game week 20 is Liverpool away, so that's not exactly a nice fixture. I mean, after that as well, it's Man City, so not the great run greatest run, should I say, in the world. Now, the replacement I have in here is De Zerbi of Chelsea. Now, this guy, I think he's going under the radar slightly. Nobody's really mentioning him. Now, I know last week some people were saying in terms of bringing in a Chelsea defender that's nailed, you want to bring in Colwill because he will start. Well, he got dropped in game week 16, so that wasn't exactly correct now, was it? But obviously, it was quite a busy week last week, so maybe that's why Pochettino started dropping. But De Zerbi, he's 4.9 million. He has started 14 games this season. He's only missed a couple of games, which is pretty decent. I think that's, pretty regular in the team. Obviously, Reece James went off injured. Gusto, I don't know whether he's fit yet to play. And obviously, De Zerbi plays on the right side of centre half for Chelsea. So he could easily move into the right wing back role. So definitely somebody I would recommend looking at. He's only 3.9%. Not many people at all mention him. Obviously, they're going for like the Colwill, maybe even Thiago Silva. But yeah, I think this guy's definitely worth looking at. And obviously, Chelsea's fixtures are really good coming up. Obviously, this isn't exactly a great Chelsea team right now, but I like to think in game week 17 coming up, Sheffield United at home, Chelsea can definitely keep a clean sheet. Wolves away in 18 is going to be difficult. Then I think Palace and Luton after that, they should be able to get some clean sheets. 3 out of 4, I reckon, in the next 4 games. They should be okay. So, for a guy that's 4.9 million, and I definitely think he will play as well in all 4 of these games. I think he's definitely somebody to take into consideration ahead of game week 17. So then, with the midfield change, I've got Bruno Fernandes out here. Now, I definitely would also recommend taking out Jarrod Bowen. Quick reasons why is the fixtures are not that easy for West Ham. Wolves on paper looks easy, but they've been really good this season. I don't think it's going to be an easy game for him. Then Man United, Arsenal and Brighton after that. I can't categorically say West Ham are going to do well in any of those games. So you're looking at game week 21 against Sheffield United where I go, oh, he could do something there. And that's not until the end of January. So he's definitely somebody I recommend getting rid of. And obviously on here I've got Bruno Fernandes, who's suspended for game week 17, which is why I've put him ahead of Bowen in this video. Now, I mean, it's obvious why he decided he wanted that yellow card. He did not want to play against Liverpool because he's a gutless spineless captain who is completely fake. And I do reckon that's why he decided to get the yellow card, because I think he's going to get battered. Well, he thinks Man United are going to get battered in game week 17. And then even then, 18's West Ham, 19's Villa, 21's going to be Spurs, and even 20 they're away at Forest, which is not an easy place to go to at all. So, bad run of fixtures. If you still own Bruno, get rid of him because he's not going to do anything for you for quite some time now, in my opinion. Now, the guy who I definitely would recommend bringing in might be a surprise because it's a Man City player, and obviously Man City blank in game week 18. But their fixtures between that, Crystal Palace at home in 17 is nice. 19's Everton, 20 is going to be Sheffield United. That is a nice run of fixtures in between. So even if they are blanking in 18, I still think it's worth bringing in Foden, put him on the bench for 1 game week, and then put him back in for 19. And obviously there's this issue of Haaland at the minute, so Man City are going to have to find goals from somewhere. And I have a feeling Foden is going to be the man to take the mantle here and get a few goals. So definitely somebody to really consider about bringing into your team for 17, because I think he could do really well in these next 3 games. And finally then onto the strikers. Now obviously it was going to be Erling Haaland out. Now this one is a really tricky one right now. You're going to be doing this change possibly right at the deadline. Haven't got a clue, even myself who owns him, haven't got a clue what I'm going to do right now. Obviously Pep said we're going to see how he is on Thursday, which is not helpful at all. I'm pretty sure Man City play tonight in the Champions League, so he's not going to be in the squad, is he? You can just see that 100% not going to be in the squad. Now, his dad apparently, allegedly, and some of his family members have taken him out of their fantasy football team, so maybe they do know something that we don't. Well, they clearly must know something we don't. Or maybe we're being tricked. It's a horrible situation. Is Haaland going to play or not? Because ideally, if Haaland is going to be playing, I'm going to keep him for obvious reasons. But if he's not, I'm not going to keep him in my team when he's going to blank in 18 as well. I may as well use the money on a striker that's going to get me, or give me a chance of getting a goal. So that's my thinking of Erling Haaland. It's frustrating. He's 50% chance of playing currently on the FPL site. I'm hoping he does play. Well, more so I'm hoping we need news really before the deadline, because it's going to be a real struggle really to decide. And if we find out just before the deadline, let's face it, the site's going to crash. So if we find out by Thursday, that would be great. Hopefully Pep will actually give us some information. Can't see it happening, but fingers crossed on that one. But the replacement on here, now it's currently somebody I own, and that's Solanke. I'm quite proud of that. But obviously the other recommendation would be Ollie Watkins, who a lot of people own, whereas Solanke not so much. Reason why Solanke is, look at those 3 fixtures. Luton 17, that's really nice. Obviously Forest is going to be tough. And then Fulham in 19 at home. Bournemouth are playing really well right now. They're absolutely dominating the teams. I mean, he should have had 2 goals against Man United. He was so unlucky to hit the post. He's an absolute threat. This is probably the best season I've ever seen Solanke play. I always thought he wasn't good enough for the Premier League, but you know, 8 goals and 16 appearances. That's a goal every other game. He's doing really well. He's a bit short on assists though. He's only got 1 assist, but I definitely think 8 goals is pretty impressive for him. And for sure, I'm confident myself, who owns him, that he's going to be scoring against Luton. I mean, now I've said that, I've jinxed it, but yeah, he's definitely probably the best option in my opinion outside of Ollie Watkins ahead of game week 17. So he's definitely somebody I recommend going for. So that will be it for this video. Those are the 3 transfers that I'm going to recommend for game week 17. Let me know what you think about those transfers, particularly obviously the Foden one. That's probably the most interesting one out of the 3. It's the one not many people are talking about right now. So yeah, let me know what you think. Please don't forget as well to like this video, hit subscribe, and I'll see you all on the next one.